So, you're thinking about launching an anti-aging cream brand. It's an amazing market, especially for repeat business. But wow, is it crowded. So how do you even begin to stand out? Well, the secret isn't about shouting the loudest claims, it's about building the most trust.
Okay, let's get right into it. On one side of the screen, you've got the market as it is right now. Just intense competition, customers who are rightfully skeptical, and just all these over-the-top claims. But on the other side, that's your opening. You get to be the calm, clear, human-centric voice. This is your biggest advantage. Your success is going to come from being the one trustworthy guide in a very, very noisy room.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to dig into the trust problem itself. Then we'll walk through exactly how to find your niche, build a simple, effective product range, and most importantly, how to talk about your products honestly. And then we'll wrap it all up with how to create a shop that just radiates credibility from the get-go.
First up, the anti-aging trust problem. Now, you might think all that noise and skepticism is a bad thing, right? But actually, it creates this thing called a trust gap. And that gap is a massive opportunity for a new, honest brand like yours to just step in and offer some much-needed clarity and confidence.
So how do we start filling that trust gap? Well, the very first step is to find your niche. Honestly, the biggest mistake new brands make is trying to sell some vague idea of anti-aging to absolutely everyone. Your goal is to stop selling to everyone and start solving a very real problem for someone specific. So what is a niche, really? It's not just the broad category of anti-aging. No, it's about zeroing in on a specific problem your customer is actually trying to solve. Things like dryness, sensitivity, a loss of firmness, or even that tight feeling they get after washing their face. A niche means you become the go-to expert for a particular concern.
And here are some fantastic, concrete examples of what that looks like. Instead of just anti-aging cream, you could become the go-to brand for barrier-first formulas that focus on skin health and comfort. Or what about specializing in really gentle options for sensitive skin? Or a straightforward, no-fuss routine for men? These angles are so powerful because they speak directly to a real person's actual needs.
Okay, once you've nailed down your niche, the next step in building trust is all about clarity. Let's talk about building a simple product range. Launching with 25 different creams, that's not helpful, it's just confusing. A small, carefully curated collection tells your customer, hey, I'm the expert, and I've already made the best choices for you. And here it is, the magic number. A starter range of just 4 to 8 products is absolutely perfect. It's enough to feel like a complete collection and offer some choice, but it's focused enough that you won't give your customers decision paralysis. It makes you look like a confident guide, not a confusing supermarket aisle. So what does a sensible range actually look like? While you start with the core products, your workhorses, a great daily moisturizer and a richer night cream. Then, maybe you add a lighter gel cream option for different skin types or for warmer weather. And you could even include an underrated hero product, like a really good hand cream. The key is that every single item has a clear, distinct purpose. And here's a quick tip that is so powerful. When you bundle your products, name them by the outcome. Hydration routine is just so much more appealing than two-piece set because you're selling the benefit, the thing your customer actually wants. It helps them choose, and you know what? It often increases your average order value too. Win-win. All right, now we're at what might be the most crucial section of all. Selling benefits, not miracles. The language you use, in your marketing, on your product pages, this is the absolute foundation of your trustworthy brand. This is where you prove you're different from everyone else out there. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you have these huge, risky, and frankly unbelievable promises like removes wrinkles. You have to avoid those. Instead, look at the other side. Use credible, benefit-focused language. Phrases like smoother-looking appearance or help skin feel hydrated are not only more honest, they're actually more reassuring. They build long-term confidence in your brand. And this quote, it really says it all, doesn't it? Customers are just so tired of being misled. Being upfront about what your product can do and what it can't, that's not a weakness. It's your greatest strength. Honesty is truly the best marketing you can possibly have. So let's put all these pieces together and talk about creating a trustworthy shop. Your brand's entire philosophy of honesty and clarity has to be reflected in the design and the content of your website. Because after all, this is where your customer makes that final decision to click buy.
Your product pages need to be your hardest working employee. This checklist basically covers what shoppers are desperately trying to figure out before they buy. What skin type is this for? What does it feel like? How exactly do I use it? Answering these questions clearly and proactively just gets rid of any hesitation and builds that crucial trust.
Now I know what you might be thinking. Building a professional website that communicates all this can feel, well, pretty daunting, especially if you want to focus on making great products, not wrestling with code and plugins. This is where turnkey solutions can be a real game changer.
For instance, a service like Make Local for Global is built specifically to create these kinds of clear, trustworthy shops for people who aren't tech experts. Their whole process is designed to be simple and stress-free, so you can get back to focusing on your brand.
And the pricing for these kinds of services is often designed specifically for startups. Some plans, for example, might offer a complete setup and hosting for just a flat annual fee. It makes getting a professional online shop a really straightforward and affordable option, without any hidden headaches. So, to wrap it all up, here is your practical go-to checklist. 1. Pick a specific niche. 2. Start with a small, focused range and create those outcome-based bundles. 3. Write product pages that answer every single question. 4. Be so careful and honest with your claims. And 5. Create helpful content, like a Choose Your Cream guide, to build your authority.
And I want to leave you with this final thought. In a market that is just saturated with hype, please don't try to be the loudest brand. Be the most trustworthy one. Because when a customer is choosing something to put on their skin, that trust is absolutely everything.